Breaking news! The Denver Broncos may be about to make a big move in the upcoming NFL draft, and history may be our best guide to understanding why this isn't just speculation, it's a very real possibility. Under Broncos head coach Shawn Payton, trading players has been the norm, not the exception. And when you combine that with general manager George Payton's own aggressive tendencies on draft day, it paints a compelling picture of a front office that doesn't sit back and wait for talent to fall into their lap. They're going after their guy. I'll tell you everything I know so far, but first make sure you've hit the like button if you're a true Denver Broncos fan. If possible, comment something like this: "Go Broncos! Let's go to the Super Bowl." Now, let's go back in time and look at Payton's track record. In 2018, he orchestrated a major move from the 27th pick to the 14th to select Marcus Davenport, giving up significant assets to make it happen. A year earlier, he traded wide receiver Brandon Cooks to move back into the first round and acquire Ryan Ramczyk, who went on to become an all-pro tackle. In 2011, Payton struck a deal with the Patriots, one of many he has made with New England over the years, to acquire Mark Ingram, giving up a future first-round pick and a second-round pick. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. In 2008, he jumped from the 10th pick to the 7th to acquire Cedric Ellis, again trading with New England, which received Jared Mayo in return. So why is this relevant now? Because once again, the draft class isn't exactly brimming with first-round talent. Most years you can count on about 20 true first-round grades. This year, maybe 15. That means if the Broncos want one of those blue-chip players, sticking at pick 20 probably won't cut it. It's going to require moving up, and that's something Payton has never shied away from. Add to that Payton's own willingness to make bold draft moves, like trading up for Quinn Meinerz, and suddenly the writing's on the wall. Now let's talk specifics. If Denver were to trade up, they're likely targeting that 8 to 10 range in the draft, potentially with the Carolina Panthers at 8, the New Orleans Saints at 9, or the Chicago Bears at 10. The Raiders at 6 seem unlikely given the inter-division complications, and jumping into the top 5 is probably too costly. So why make a move into the 8 to 10 range? Because of one player, Ashton Jeanty. This is the guy, the Boise State running back who's been lighting up mock drafts and is considered by many as a generational talent. While some mocks have him going to the Raiders, there's increasing buzz that Las Vegas could pivot to Michigan cornerback Will Johnson instead. That opens the door. If Jeanty slides past the Raiders, Payton might be dialing phones faster than a day trader on a stock market surge. Let's talk about why Jeanty is worth it. First, the numbers. He's 5 feet 9 inches, 215 pounds, not the biggest back, but his play style is pure power and vision, reminiscent of Derrick Henry. He racked up over 2,600 rushing yards last season, averaging 7 yards per carry, and scored 29 touchdowns. And here's the kicker: Jeanty led the entire nation not only in rushing yards but also in yards after contact. In fact, if you stripped away all of his pre-contact yardage, he'd still have more yards after contact than any other back had total. That's not just production, that's dominance. From an analytics perspective, Jeanty isn't just good, he's off the charts. Literally. When you compare him to recent first-round backs like Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, or even our own Javonte Williams, Jeanty makes them look like warm-ups. Robinson had a stellar season with the Falcons last year, but Jeanty had 900 more yards after contact in college than Robinson had total. That's not just impressive, that's unheard of. So let's say the Panthers are willing to make a deal at pick number 8. It's going to cost Denver at least a future first-rounder, and possibly a third or fourth rounder on top of that. Is it worth it? Let's look at past Broncos picks in that 20 to 26 range. Noah Fant and Paxton Lynch. Ask yourself, would you rather have another Fant and Lynch combo, or a chance to land a potential game-changing back like Jeanty? For many, it's a no-brainer. When you consider the Broncos could be picking later than 20 next year if all goes well, giving up that future first doesn't feel so painful. It becomes more about getting quality over quantity. Payton has never hesitated to be bold when he believes in a player, like he did last year when selecting Bo Nix in the first round, a move many saw as a reach, but one he proudly stood by. So as we inch closer to the draft, Broncos country needs to brace for something big. This front office isn't about playing it safe. They see Jeanty as a cornerstone player, someone who could redefine the running game in Denver and take pressure off the quarterback position. The stars are aligning for a major trade-up, and if history is any indicator, it's not a matter of if Denver will move up. It's more like when. Now the question is, what do you think, Broncos fans? Would you give up 2 first-round picks to move up to number 8 for Ashton Jeanty? Is this the kind of aggressive move you want to see your team make, or would you rather play it safe and build depth through the draft. Drop your thoughts below. We're just getting started. And let's not forget the context the Broncos are operating in. They're not a team that can afford to wait around and hope the right player falls into their lap. With the AFC West becoming more competitive every season and Denver still trying to find their post-Manning identity, a high-impact draft pick like Jeanty isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. Denver needs someone who can immediately elevate the offense, control the tempo, and take pressure off a young quarterback. That's what Jeanty brings to the table. He's not just a stats machine, he's a culture changer. It's also worth looking at what trading up signals to the locker room and fan base. It tells everyone, from players to coaches to us fans, that this team is not here to rebuild slowly. It's about winning now. When Shawn Payton steps into the draft room, he's not just thinking about potential. He's thinking about players who can come in, contribute immediately, and make Denver relevant again. If they believe Jeanty is that guy, they're going to do whatever it takes to land him. We've already seen glimpses of this mindset last year with the selection of Bo Nix. Many analysts pegged Nix as a second-round quarterback, but Payton didn't flinch. He saw his guy, put on a smokescreen to throw off other teams, and then took him confidently in the first round. That same kind of conviction is what makes this front office dangerous in the best way. When they identify a target, they move with precision and confidence. That's not something we've always been able to say about Broncos leadership in recent years. And let's address the draft capital concern because it's a valid one. Yes, giving up a future first-round pick is significant. But what's the value of that future first if you're already winning more games and it turns into the 25th or 26th pick? Would you rather have that late first-rounder or a top 10 talent who you know can change the course of your franchise right now? The numbers, the tape, and the analytics all suggest Jeanty isn't just worth the pick, he's worth the price. In a league that's become increasingly cautious and analytical, sometimes it's the boldest moves that pay the biggest dividends. And here's something else to consider, how Jeanty's skill set fits into Payton's offensive scheme. Shawn Payton has always thrived with running backs who can do more than just hit the gap. Think about the versatility he had with Alvin Kamara in New Orleans. While Jeanty hasn't been used much in the passing game at Boise State, that's not a knock on his ability, it's just a reflection of how dominant he was on the ground. Payton could unlock a whole new side to Jeanty's game, turning him into a true dual-threat weapon out of the backfield. And honestly, can you imagine what that does for Bo Nix? A quarterback's best friend is a reliable run game. Give Nix a running back like Jeanty who can break tackles, move the chains, and force defenses to respect the ground game, and suddenly those passing lanes get a little wider. The pass rush gets a little slower. The whole offensive dynamic changes. This isn't just about getting a good player, it's about reshaping the entire offensive identity of the Denver Broncos. So Broncos country, now it's your turn. We've laid out the history. We've broken down the numbers. We've shown why this move makes sense not just on paper, but in every real football sense that matters. Would you make the deal? Would you send a future first to Carolina or Chicago to get the next great Denver Bronco? Is Ashton Jeanty the piece that takes this offense from hopeful to dangerous? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you in on this? Are you ready to go all in on Jeanty? Let's talk about it.